Mama, sing to your children, teach them the songs of us. Mama, never give in, lead to your way. Mama, sing to your children, teach them the song of us. Mama, never give in, lead to your way. Mama, Daka, teacher, preacher, keep on reaching, oh, keep on reaching, oh. Suit to the star, go very far, go home or go hard. Starlight will hit us, oh, starlight would hit us, oh. Mama, come lay me down to sleep, down to sleep. Mama, come lay me down to sleep. Beating like a heart beating, oh. I start with a lullaby. I start with a lullaby because you don't know Louise Langdon Little. You know Malcolm X. You know of his work. You quote him and we sing his praises, our shining prince. But we understand as global African women that women are the first teachers of children. We understand that Malcolm X is the product of not just Louise Langdon Little, but of Ella Norton. Malcolm X is the byproduct of Mary Norton and Jupiter, his grandparents of Nigerian descent. He comes from a long line of fighters for our liberation as a people. And so to fully understand Malcolm X, you got to know red, right? You have to know that he was the fourth of a sibling tribe of 8. You have to know that his story didn't start in Omaha, Nebraska, where he was born on May 19th, 1925. That his story didn't even start 1897 in La Digue, Grenada, with his mother, Louise Langdon Little. His story started back on the continent where I am right now. He said that I'm in Ethiopia. And Malcolm X's story, it starts right here when Mary Norton convinced her husband, Jupiter, that it was time for their liberation, when she was the source of their liberation from enslavement long after enslavement ended. The British Royal Navy continued to enslave our people. And in their escapades, they found 2 revolutionary souls, ones that refused to be oppressed, that refused to be enslaved. And those people, after emancipating themselves from off of those slave ships, they found themselves in the most southern nation state in the Eastern Caribbean before arriving to the shores of South America. They found themselves in La Digue, Grenada. That is where Malcolm X's story truly begins, when we decide that it is important for us to map Malcolm. And so today, with my tribute, I want to take time to hold up all the mothers that were the first teachers of their children. His grandmother, Ella, she had a daughter. Her name was Louise, and she was the product of rape. She was raped by one of the colonizers in Grenada. This John Norton, a landowner in that region, a colonizer, he raped young Ella. And instead of getting an abortion, instead of feeling ashamed, women gathered around. What you don't know is that Louise Langdon Little, Malcolm X's mother, was raised by strong, fierce, independent women that managed and maintained their connection to the land, that understood its power, that were of an entrepreneurial spirit. In 1916, when Mary Norton, Malcolm X's grandmother, transitioned into the realm of the ancestors, Louise Langdon Little, not yet little at that time, she decided that it was time for her to seek greener pastures outside of Grenada. and she was brought to join her uncle. We're going to call him Uncle Ed for the sake of time, in Montreal. But you see, Uncle Ed, he was cool. He was not just in Canada, where he was based in Montreal with his Francophone self. He wasn't just a patois English-speaking Francophone extraordinaire. No, he was also doing his homework down in Harlem with Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And he learned the teachings of Pan-Africanism. He understood our solidarity and unity was the source of our strength. And as a result, he made space to create 32 regions of the UNIA movement in Montreal and across Canada. Well, guess where Malcolm X's mother ended up? Her first stop off of the ship when she decided that she would leave Grenada because her grandmother transitioned and she would look for greener pastures with her uncle. She found herself in Montreal under the tutelage of the Pan-African movements that have continued to shape our symbolic landscapes around the world today. She came there, and within that movement, she became a Garveyite, a true woman of the people. She met a widowed man, Earl Little, who would one day be Malcolm X's father. And after meeting him, they immediately got to work. You see, in the African worldview, our unions, those that we marry and build relationship with, they are done with intention. So we understand the family unit as the foundation of every movement that we build. The strong relationships build strong families, and those strong families build strong communities, and those strong communities build our strong nation. And so Malcolm X, though culturally derailed because of his experiences in the United States, eventually found his way back home to his Pan-African roots because he had a mother that made sure that he read the Negro World. Because he had a mother that in Omaha, Nebraska, told them that you exist because me and your father, Earl Little, created you to stand on our shoulders and continue this work. And he did just that. Traveling was nothing new for Malcolm X because he traveled through the eyes of his mother that at the tender age of 17 got on a boat and left everything she knew to go to Canada. And at a tender age, just 3 years later in 1921, took a new journey to a state that she had never been to in Omaha, Nebraska, and built a new world to build the Pan-African movement of the UNIA. And so today, when we acknowledge Malcolm X, I want you to remember the mothers, the teachers, the first teachers of children. I want all the women listening to me to understand that you are the mother of civilization and that our children are an extension of our movements. And only when we raise up the education level of our women will we be able to produce the next Malcolm X that will take us into the future. Thank you again, Baba. I appreciate this opportunity to speak life into the legacy of Louise Langdon Little, to speak life into the legacy of her mother, who still made sure that she raised a strong daughter, even though she was the product of rape. We hold you up, Ella Norton, and we hold up her mother, Mary Norton, that encouraged her husband to escape enslavement and to decide to build a new life in Grenada. Malcolm X, you are the product of this legacy, and we remember that they live on through your legacy. Thank you again.